What you are about to hear is based on footage recovered from a family home in Hermosillo, Mexico. The footage spans 14 consecutive nights. The family installed the cameras themselves because something had been coming into their home at night, and they wanted proof. They got proof. This is Voces del Abismo. The Vargas family had lived in their home on Calle Nogal for 6 years. Andres Vargas, age 38, a mechanic at a local garage. His wife, Sofia, age 35. Their 2 daughters, Valentina, 9, Rosa, 6. A completely ordinary family in a completely ordinary home. It began in September of 2016. Andres noticed it first, small things. Chairs moved in the kitchen overnight. Objects in slightly different positions. A drawing pulled from the fridge, left on the floor. He assumed it was the children. The children said no. Sophia said no. The next morning, the chairs had moved again. On October 3, 2016, Andres installed 4 security cameras. 1 in the hallway, 1 in the kitchen, 1 in the living room, 1 at the front door. He watched the feeds until midnight. Nothing unusual. He went to bed at 1 a.m. At 2:47 a.m., the kitchen camera showed the chairs in their normal positions. At 2:48 a.m., they had moved. 1 minute. The chairs moved between those 2 frames. Nothing visible caused it. No person, no shadow, nothing. No other camera captured anything that night. Andres watched it 4 times. He was not frightened, not yet. Over the following 6 nights, the footage revealed a pattern. Every night between 2 and 4 a.m., the chairs moved. Always the same amount, always the same direction. Andres began measuring the exact position of every chair before bed each night. He documented everything. 7 nights, 7 identical shifts. Sophia stopped sleeping well. The girls slept with their door open and their light on. On night 7, Andres added 2 more cameras. 1 pointed directly at the kitchen chairs, 1 in the hallway outside his daughter's room. At 3:02 a.m. on night 7, the new camera caught something the other camera had missed. At the very bottom of the frame, something moved past the chairs. Low to the ground, moving slowly. Not a cat, not a dog, not anything Andres could identify. Andres showed the footage to 3 separate people. His electronics friend, a neighbor, his brother. None of them could identify the shape. His brother said only, "Whatever it is, it moves like it knows the house well, like it has been there for a long time." On night 8, Andres stayed awake. He sat in the kitchen with the lights off, waiting. 3 a.m. came and went. Nothing moved. 4 a.m. Still nothing. He went to bed at 4:15 a.m. At 4:16 a.m., 1 minute after he left, the chairs moved again. And this time, the shape stopped. Then moved toward the hallway. When Andres watched the Night 8 footage, he saw the shape enter the hallway, move toward the bedrooms, stop outside his daughter's room, stay there for 11 seconds, then leave. Sophia wanted to leave the house. Andres said they had nowhere to go. The girls knew nothing. On night 9, Andres called the University of Sonora. He spoke to a professor in the biology department. The professor asked to see the footage. 2 days later, the professor and 2 colleagues came to the house. They set up thermal cameras, motion sensors, air sampling equipment. They watched through the night. At 3:09 a.m., the thermal camera detected a signature in the kitchen. But the thermal reading was wrong. The shape read colder than the surrounding air. Significantly colder. As if whatever was moving through the kitchen was not generating body heat, but it was moving deliberately, with purpose, and it looked directly at the camera. The professor's report identified 3 things. First, the thermal anomaly was confirmed by 3 independent sensors. Second, air samples from the kitchen floor showed an unidentified organic compound, not matching any known biological marker in any database. Third, the motion sensor data showed the shape had been visiting the house, not for 14 nights, but for at least 14 months. Before Andres ever installed a camera, the Vargas family moved out on November 14, 2016. They left most of their furniture. They never returned. The official investigation closed 8 months later. Inconclusive. The lead professor was asked recently what he believed the shape was. "I don't know what it was. I have spent 7 years trying to identify it. I cannot. What I can tell you is that it was aware of us. When it faced the thermal camera that night, it knew we were watching. I think that's why it stayed so long. It wasn't hiding, it was waiting to be seen." Valentina, the older daughter, now 16, was asked if she ever thinks about the house on Calle Nogal. "Sometimes," she said, "I don't remember anything unusual, but I always slept with the light on. I never knew why. I just always felt like something was watching me sleep. Every single night. And it didn't feel angry. It just felt curious." This was Voces del Abismo. Subscribe, because something is always watching.